Hi, I'm Debbie Gerbeck, and I help people 50 plus find their next inspiration. Before we start, I need to tell you that there's construction going on next door, which is really loud. So if you hear banging and humming and what have you, that's what's going on. So I really hope there's not an interruption. Seems to be calm right now. Anyway, um, I wanted to say, what is it about a comment or a criticism from a family member that can just literally cut you down like that? Today I'm going to go through that and talk about how family relationships are special and give you some ideas on how you can regain your self-confidence and not let them get to you at the Thanksgiving table. So you're going to have a month and a half or 2 months to practice after today. But first, please go to my website, secondhalftransitions.com, and on the Inspiration Station page, you can see all these videos if you missed any, and also I have stories that I've written, so you can see that. And also on the home page, if you fill out the form, I'll send you a free download, my pamphlet, How I Found My Inspiration, and how you can find yours in 3 steps. So you might be like me. I worked very, very hard to gain my fierce independence as a young adult, a teen, early 20s. I was mature, I was responsible, I still am. And I had a somewhat tumultuous childhood. It was difficult at times, and I just wanted to get the heck out of there. So I was on my own from a very early age after high school. And I lived in many cities, and it seemed like I was moving every 2 years for a decade or so. But I have settled down. I've been living in this city for 32 years. I can't even believe it's been 32 years already. And everything's fine. I'm good. Life is good. Everything's kind of calmed down. I no longer have the desire to live in every American city. This one's fine. So what is the issue, you ask? Well, my family came to visit last weekend. Why is it that when I'm in the presence of my family, I turn into a surly child or a bitchy teen? I mean, my poor mom, she did not deserve the wrath that I gave her. And that's just so crazy because I'm not like that with anybody else. I don't understand. Well, I do understand now why that happens. That's not me at all. So what is it about family that presses your emotional hot buttons? It's like your brain switches gears when you're with them. When a family member gives you a look or a criticism or a comment, your inner critic comes screaming out and to tell you, yes, you deserve that, you shouldn't have done that, or you shouldn't have taken that extra bite. You don't need that extra bite of dessert, whatever. And then you start agreeing with your inner critic and you lose your sense of self. It's a known fact that family relationships can beat you down more than any other relationship, which makes sense because you've known them since day one and you have this history of communicating a certain way, and it runs deep. And so when they say something to you or give you a look, it cuts to the core. And in one flash of a disapproving look will obliterate everything you've worked for, all the maturity, and you lose your sense of self and you just crumble. So how do you prevent the same disintegration of self-loathing at the Thanksgiving table? And without spending years in therapy, there may be a few steps you can do to take the control back in your own hands and not give the power to your inner critic. So I have 4 steps for you that you can take. As always, I ask you to write them down because so you have a month and a half or so to practice this and go over this, so you are armed and ready to do this and be confident and not let them get to you. So please write these down so you have them concrete they're there, and you can go back to review them to see what you've said, and practice. So first, start out by thinking about a recent time where they just cut you down, and what did you feel? What happened? What were you feeling? What was your reaction? That could be anything. It could be, you were defensive or argumentative, or you believed it. Well, that's your inner critic. So just write that down, that scenario. And also, so think about if there's another way to look at this. Maybe step in their shoes. I mean, if you feel like you're being stepped on, they may feel the same thing too. If your buttons are pushed, their buttons might be pushed too, and this is how they're reacting. So try to have a little bit of sympathy for them. They may be going through the same thing that you are. And then number 3, ask yourself after this cut down, really, honestly, are you deserving of this? Or is it something else? This is your inner critic talking. So you are not deserving of that sort of criticism. And number 4, this is a good one. Step away from the situation. Get out of there. Go to the bathroom. Take a walk. Just step out of the situation. And that will give you a chance to breathe and just gather what's real and what's happening. So those are 4 things you can do. And hopefully that will work, and you have a little time to practice. And so these are just ways that you can become and stay the mature adult that you are beyond Thanksgiving. So hopefully that helps you. And so take care. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for showing up here. That was, thank you. And the noise wasn't too horrible. So thanks again. I'll see you next week. Bye.